I tell you, man. Morning, everybody. Welcome to the YouTube live version. If you're watching this as a replay, you can skip ahead about 10 minutes or so. About. Let's do. That's the one I want.
I'm glad I set an alarm. I was going to listen to the show and call in. I did not know I was going to be on.
Well, you're on YouTube right now, so there you go.
Oh, fair enough. I'm making some coffee so I don't sound like I'm 100 years old.
Well, if you'd stop smoking. Waylon Turnus, good morning, sir.
If I'd stop smoking if goddamn Canada quit burning down the whole country.
Okay, Canada and Montana. Holy moly.
All smoking right now.
Actually, I can see today, though.
Can you? Oh, yesterday was ugly.
I can see Bullion Butte finally. But yeah, no, yesterday I was a mile, if that.
Well, when I came back to Dickinson last night to meet you, it was noticeably worse than when I went home yesterday morning through Dickinson.
Yeah. What's up for today? It's open lines. Open line and just discuss anything we want. So there you go. Jesse and I he's co-hosting. And if nobody calls in, we're going to talk about, I don't know.
Stuff.
I got plenty of things on my mind I'd like to get off my chest, but that's just me.
What did we call it that first week we kind of did the open line deal?
You know what really grinds my gears?
Oh, yeah. What shivers me timbers?
What's that?
What were we saying the other night? What shivers my timbers?
That's what you said. I didn't feel like I needed to be like Popeye the Sailor Man here.
Oh, I sound like Popeye right now.
It's because you're in Central Time Zone. You're a little bit behind me.
I am.
If you'd have the voice that's
behind me.
Voice? No, I don't think so. You have a voice that sounds like warm, melting caramel.
No,
I know you don't.
Sounds like a cheese grater right now. I'll get it squared away.
Sounds like you're whispering.
I'm having a hard time projecting it at the moment.
Oh, man. Well, you know a thing that people forget about when archery season opens up?
Oh, where their bows at?
That's you. And where their tag is. No
doubt. No, I know where that's at. I got one spot I put those.
Yeah, me too. In my backpack, my hunting backpack. No.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I throw everything. As soon as I get it in the mail, I throw it in my backpack.
My problem is though my hunting backpack is also my traveling backpack. Like, I got to be careful when I go through airports because if I forget to take one bullet out of my side pouch where I put my extra ammo, I'm going to have a situation.
And I did that when I was leaving Dallas-Fort Worth.
When you went down hunting?
Yeah, I went down. Morning, Karen. Went down hunting, and I had one empty casing.
Yeah, it wasn't even a loaded round.
It wasn't even loaded. And it was like shut things down. And
I know.
But I'll tell you this, Dallas-Fort Worth is a lot more friendly to get through and around that than Rapid City.
Than Minneapolis. Oh, Rapid City even, huh?
Rapid City was like, I had everything organized to head down. Right. I had ammo in separate bags. Rifles. I had the bolts pulled. I had everything going good, And well, we drove in my pickup, so everything is a little dusty because of all the gravel. And the TSA guy, what color shirts do they wear?
Black.
No, they wear white.
White.
And when they grabbed my case and put it up, he just had a big streak of gravel dust.
And was immediately
pissed off at me. And he took me through the ringer, man. But I had everything, even more than what they were expected.
You know what? This is a good topic this conversation should be on the show.
Well, technically it is because we're on YouTube live. We can revisit this
full live show because there is a lot of people that travel to hunt. There's obviously the John Armins of the world that travel a lot to hunt. because they go all over to shoot their show. But there's a lot of people that go out of state for either deer, antelope, big game, weird game,
hog hunting.
You know, it's a bigger industry than a lot of people realize, I think. So it's a good topic to hit.
Darren says I have an empty casing on my work keys and his keychain. He says they always look at me.
Yeah, he does.
He says they always look at me weird, but have never gotten it taken away.
Really?
I'm sorry,
That's
Darren.
surprising.
That's not why they're looking at you weird.
No doubt. Old Stewie. Hey, are you in the Family Guy? Drive out here and punch me in the throat.
He should. He could call in
Second
too.
time.
He could call in and punch you through the airwaves.
Second time winner of the putting contest at the Cowboy Hall of Fame.
That's good.
Wish he could golf like that when he was on our team.
Yeah.
What the baloney.
Well, he won once. He was.
That's true. He was with us the first time.
Yeah, he was with us the first time he won that.
I've hauled the gun that we give away to the tournament 3 times, and 2 times it came back home in my pickup. 2 guys that rode with me to the tournament won the gun that we gave away. That was kind of neat.
Darren, type back, LOL. Lots of love. Thanks, man.
Oh.
Or look out loud. I don't know. Nicole says she wants to be on your team next year.
Holy smokes! Can you imagine if we had the rodeo queen and Nicole? I don't know if I'd make the whole round. Between the rodeo queen making fun of me and Nicole making me drink, I might die.
It could be, but it'd still be fun.
Excuse me.
Oh man!
Yeah,
no, you know what
ate
people
up my
forget
smoke
about
shop.
when it's archery season?
Arrows, broadheads.
You're never going to get it because this is
Allergy
why
shots.
you're a perfect example of why a lot of people forget. It's
Bug
also,
spray.
it's also opening mountain lion season.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so people need to get more excited about fur bear.
Did they change the rule finally that you can carry a sidearm when you're bow hunting?
No,
Well, I guess I'm still
not that
doing
I
illegal
know. I
then.
should say. Let me do it. Not that I know of in the North Dakota side.
Okay.
All right, we have a minute and a half here.
Okay.
Karen's ready. Morning, Big Daddy Dave Williams. What's we got going on here? Chats.
I'm going to get through this first segment or first half, and then I'm actually going to go outside into my garage. Once I do that, I'll get on with you to off air to make sure I'm good on sound.
Okay.
We got Hayes and Harvest Fest this weekend. There's a car show, and I'm taking Dad's Nomad in. I got to get out there and start doing a couple things as we're talking, or I'll never have it ready.
Still have the Nomad, huh?
Yeah, for
Thought you guys
another
got rid
week
of that.
here.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, Dad'll never get rid of the Nomad. I've had it up here for a little while though.
Oh, I got you.
Been working on a few things, but no, that's one of the ones you'll never get rid of.
I see.
I guess you should never say never, but I can't imagine him ever getting rid of this one.
All right, well, stand by. 15-second stations, 15 seconds. 10-second mark. 10 seconds. Good morning, friends and neighbors, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, and today is Open Lines Only. Back by popular request. So many people like to call in and tell me what's grinding their gears. They can sure do that. And give me a call here today. 888-932-5682 is the toll-free number. That's 888-932-5682. Also heard on great stations all across the Dakota Territory, thanks to stations like KGFX in Pierre and Fort Pierre, KOLY in the Mobridge Country, also KFire 550, the voice in the Northern Plains, Bismarck, Mandan, KCJB, where I started my whole radio career in KCJB up in Minot and KLTC in Dickinson. Jesse Flatt from Western Frontier Insurance is co-hosting with me. Good morning, Jesse. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm not too bad, recovering a little bit between a lot of golf, a lot of visiting afterwards, and the smoke in the air. I was shot yesterday.
Yesterday it was thick. Yesterday the wildfire. I don't know. Are they coming in from Montana or Canada? I can't really know on this one here. But
I don't know. We enjoyed
thick.
Probably 2 weeks of pretty clear skies, and now all of a sudden it is back and it's angry.
Well, we can get on what grinds my gears about forest fires later on. But we can do that here. Toll-free number again, 888-932-5682. Pretty easy. When you call, I'm my own producer. So when it comes across here, it automatically puts you on hold. I'll look over at the phone, and as soon as you get there, we'll get your first name and go from there. Also, today is the 20th anniversary of 9/11 here. Yeah, so we also want to talk about, if you want to talk, where were you when you got that information 20 years ago? Now, you got to remember, that 20 years ago, a long time already, Jesse.
I know.
20 years
feel
younger
like it was,
then,
but
man.
God, I don't know.
Imagine that. But where were you when you heard when the whole September 11th thing went down? And not many people. It was not a lot of coverage of the Pentagon one, but the Twin Towers in New York. Give me your story.
Well, later on in the day, there was more coverage about the Pentagon because it was hit second or third, I guess.
Yeah. Third or fourth. I can't remember that. Yeah.
It's funny. It kind of depends on the age of person you ask, whether or not they know where they were at. I would say that the attack on New York and the Pentagon for your and my generation was, for us, the only thing I can compare it to was ask the 60 to 80-year-old people where they were at when Kennedy was shot, and they will tell you to the second where they were at. and I feel for our generation, that's what the Trade Center attack was. I know exactly where I was. I was working for Bowman Senex at the time. I had fired up my truck and forgot my giant Mountain Dew mug holding device at home. Ran back to my house to grab it, and I had forgot the TV on, and I looked over and thought, what is that? And I turned the volume back up, and I called my boss, old Jason Ruggles. I said, hey, could you shut the semi off? I'm going to be staying home here for a few minutes. Something's going down. And he turned the radio on at the feed store, and I never went to Dickinson that day I had 3 loads of feed to haul back. And I just in the first 10 seconds of turning that TV up, I'm like, man, this doesn't look right. And about 3 minutes after I hung up the phone with him is when I watched on live TV. I watched the second plane hit, and boy, it was a long day.
Yeah. I can remember too. I was working at a welding shop, and that's well, I don't know, remember, I can't why I was down at Wendy's picking up something. I think it was a breakfast pizza for the rest of the crew up at the welding shop, and I saw it on their TV on the news on that one. Same thing. When the first one hit, everybody was watching that, kind of listening, and then here out of nowhere, here comes that second one, and that's where I was 20 years ago, man. And so if you want to call in, tell me where you were. 888-932-5682. You can also, a lot of people are shy about calling in, Jesse. And, that's fine. You can always text me, 701-425-6651. You can find me on YouTube Live right now. You can message me that way. Probably the easiest way, Facebook Messenger. If you want to get a hold of me some way, shape, or form, there's a good chance you can do that. There's no doubt about it.
Not hard.
No, it is not hard at all here. So 20th anniversary. So what has changed since then? Okay. You and I were talking about how I was going down hog hunting in Texas, and the scrutiny that the TSA gives you when you're trying to travel with ammunition or guns or rifles or any of that stuff. Besides that, I for like a year after that, and this is what's the hard thing about professional sports for me is, it was America first for like the year after the September 11th. And now you got
patriotism.
Freaking people kneeling down in professional sports now. They won't even stand for the national anthem. That's one of the biggest things I've seen change over the last 20 years. How about you?
There are professional sports athletes right now playing basketball, football, all of them. They do not know, or they don't remember it at all, but they don't know anything about 911. They have no idea why 911. They think it's the emergency.
9/11.
Fair enough. But that goes to my point. They see 9/11. They're like, yes, the emergency number. It's 911. They have no idea what happened. Our world becomes disconnected to things that happened more than 10 minutes ago, especially in today's society with Twitter and Instagram and even still Facebook for us old people. It's instant gratification. It's what's next. It's what's going to happen in 5 minutes. What's the next trend? What's the next stupid TikTok dance I got to listen to everybody talk about? They don't remember some pretty important things that happened that changed our society in a very big way. I actually flew back to North Dakota not even a year after the 9/11 terror attacks. I flew back to Bismarck from Denver for your wedding. And what did I bring you for a wedding present?
A 1022 Ruger.
That was an interesting trip, hey. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get back. I had bought it down in Colorado. I found a sale, and at that time, you'd never owned a gun with a scope on it. I'm like, well, he's getting a gun with a scope on it. It's going to be a 22.
You're the one that ruined me. I was open sights for life, man. I was open sights for life, and you're
a mountain man going to rendezvous with Butch Clendenin, and I had to bring you into this century. Good Lord.
Come on now. Come on. No, that was yeah. I'm getting some text messages about what grinds some people's gears, and let's
read them. Let's read them after the break.
We will do it after the break here, but yeah, you think about 20 years ago, there was no social media, and if there was, it was email. I mean, that was about the extent of social media at that point, was sending America Online, AOL. You know what I mean? So
if you had a computer, you talk the percentage of homes that had computers back then to now. Things have changed. I'm talking to you on a computer.
You are. I'm doing look where I'm doing my radio program from. The porch of the ranch house out here in the beautiful Badlands here. And it's all because of the internet service and everything like that. But anyway, we'll come back. We'll take a short break here and come back, and Jesse will join me here. We do have the lady in waiting for the Miss Rodeo North Dakota is also going to be joining us here, Jesse. Because evidently you set up an interview the other night there, and my phone just reminded me, and she just reminded me too, saying, hey, remember? And I'm going to be like, yes, we're going to be calling here shortly as well. So that's all coming up here on Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition on the 20th anniversary of 9/11 here. If you want to call in, tell me what's on your mind. Open lines here, 888-932-5682. We'll be back after these messages right here next.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your locally owned hometown bank, an honor we take great pride in. And our customer satisfaction has always been our most important goal. We've gone along with the communities we serve and will continue to do so with our pledge of modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. From remote deposit options to online mortgage applications, we are happy to serve you wherever you are. Learn more at dakotacommunitybank.com. That's dakotacommunitybank.com.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition all across the Dakota Territory. Thanks to stations like KCJB and Minot, KLTC and Dickinson, K-Fire and Bismarck, Mandan, KOLY and Mobridge, and of course, Capital City, Pierce, South Dakota, KGFX. Big Daddy Dave down there running the board for me here this morning. Thanks, guys. Appreciate all of you carrying my program, and you can find it on YouTube. We're live broadcasting right now as well. You can go to Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio, and you can like and subscribe, and that helps me be able to get out and do my thing. Jesse Flath is co-hosting with me. Jesse, welcome back to the program here. And one thing you and I were discussing, Jesse, are you still there with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One thing you and I were discussing in the first part is how things have changed in the last 20 years and how professional sports kind of forgot about, the terrorist attacks, and now they're kneeling and won't even stand for the national anthem. But there's one sport that I still support, and that's rodeo, where people still stand up. And if they don't, usually people like me that are announcing will kind of make fun of them a little bit here and quite a bit and escort them right out here. But the 2022 Miss Rodeo North Dakota, Elise Burwell, good morning. How are you, young lady?
Thank you for having me on. I am doing great.
Yeah, so that's you were just a 5-year-old when this happened. Tell us what do you remember any of the terrorist attacks?
I do a little bit. I obviously was too young to know exactly what was happening, but I was in kindergarten. So I just turned 5 in August that year, and we only went to school like a couple days a week, like 3 days a week, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And the day that 9/11 happened was the day we were supposed to go to school. And I remember being on the bus because I think we might have got picked up late. And I remember like being on the bus and kind of just driving around. And then eventually they just dropped us back off. And so I was actually at my babysitter's in town, and she watched the news all morning. And I only remember just the dust. I remember when the buildings fell.
Yeah.
And seeing that dust come out. I remember that. And my mom, she works for Fish and Wildlife. And so all government workers were, told to evacuate and go home. And so she came and picked me up early, and we went and had ice cream. So my memory of it, I'm kind of thankful that my mom did that in a way so that, that I don't have the trauma. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I do remember that I was still aware enough that this is a real thing, that this actually happened.
And it shows in the rodeo side, doesn't it? I mean, you can testify to that. I'm sure you've carried plenty of flags in your time here. I mean, the only professional sport that, they still stand, they still do what they do. And it's kind of an exciting thing when there's nothing like the national anthem and a prayer at a rodeo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
and then it just tops it off when the Bronx and the shooting kicking.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. All the noise and everything going on at the same time. Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about what Miss Rodeo North Dakota and what do you have to do? Tell us what's going on.
Well, this year, the Miss Rodeo North Dakota board, they actually implemented a Lady in Waiting title because of COVID last year and how Miss Rodeo America kept their queen over for next year, so it gave the states a chance. So actually, I was crowned in June in conjunction with the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame inductions.
Mm-hmm.
So my time this year has just been spent planning for next year. So I have a lot of time, which is really great. Been working on getting stuff lined up for my coronation party. I can say officially that it will be January 1st at the North Dakota Winter Show in the Southeast Exhibit Building. And but besides that, just kind of going to other events and following along with our current queen, Miss Callie E. Nander, and seeing some sites, getting to know places, know what to expect, and next year so I can hit the ground running. And I know just have a little more under my belt and be prepared.
So for the folks that, I met you at the Cowboy Hall of Fame golf tournament. This is where we met here on Thursday. And Jesse, years ago, and I don't know how long ago was it when Cody Miller was the queen? That was
been a while.
9 years.
2014, yep.
Okay, so 2014. Now, here's the thing. Since this radio show is in both North and South Dakota, I got a guy that from down by Platte listening this morning. Thanks for tuning in there, Scott. But so here's the thing. She had South Dakota, Miss Rodeo South Dakota, up at that tournament as well that day. And we have
Melinda Sletton was there.
Yeah, Slayton.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. So how do you work together with, the Dakotas? Do you guys work? Do you travel together with other rodeo queens and royalty like that? I mean, is that something that's usually kind of because you don't always just usually see one rodeo queen there. There's usually a handful of them when you go to these bigger rodeos.
Yeah. I hear the joke every once in a while. If you find one, you'll find 5 more. It's definitely a sisterhood. I mean, to be a part of it and wear those sashes and be able to go places together, it's something, that friendship you're never going to find anywhere else. We all share the same passion and the same goals in life, and I think it's really important for girls to remember that we're not always in competition. We're all here because we love doing it. We love the sport.
Mm-hmm.
We like to promote it. I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of my Sash sisters in Las Vegas this December. I will attend as Lady in Waiting just to be there to cheer on Callie.
Mm-hmm.
So excited to meet all those girls and maybe hopefully attend the South Dakota pageant in November too. So yeah, we kind of do what we can to help each other out and travel together and meet up when we can.
Who's the did South Dakota do a Lady in Waiting as well?
No, their pageant is in November.
Okay.
The first weekend in November, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. And so you're going to go down and join that. Yeah, it's one of those things in a way. Promoting that's your job, going around and promoting, right? I mean, that's basically what you do. How do you find the funding to do this?
You get creative. I guess that's kind of the first thing. Thrift stores are rodeo queen's best friend when it comes to clothes, because if a girl wanted to spend a lot of money, the wardrobes are a big chunk of it, and then the travel money, of course, too. But another really big thing is our sponsors. Even as a contestant, we wouldn't be able to do it. We wouldn't be able to rodeo, I should say, without our sponsors. And not only do we promote our Western way of life, we also help give those sponsors a recognition that they deserve.
Mm-hmm. You know, you say thrift stores are your best friend.
Yeah.
Mine too.
I knew where that was going.
Yeah, I kind of recognize that jacket somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's a reason we can suit up for less than $5 and go to Brandings all spring. So
Yes.
we're going to pull them out during weanings as well here today, or this fall. So if people if they want to help sponsor, or a lot of folks don't really realize what it means to be a rodeo queen. Well, how could you explain it to them? Because there's a lot of people, they don't understand the pageant side of things. And I've had, fortunately, knowing Cody Miller and knowing a few other ones, that I've been actually a judge at some of these, and it's more than just standing up and giving a speech or answering questions, or it's more than that. How could you explain it for folks?
It's definitely a high standard that they hold us to, for the cowboys, the committees, rodeo associations. We have to be really expected to be knowledgeable in everything, rodeo, current events. So one thing that I heard from pageant this year in June, there was a lot of people there that came out to support me that have not seen my pageants before.
Yeah.
And they were truly impressed with how much we were expected to know. I'm very big on history, and when I was preparing for pageant this year, I really looked into a lot of the history of North Dakota with the Cowboy Hall of Fame and past inductees. I actually made a dress that had a lot of brands on it, and all those brands I handpicked for people that had impacted North Dakota, been a part of it, made groundbreaking things with ranching, farming, whatever it may be. So there's just a lot in that side of it that I really like to be a part of. And at rodeos, one of our biggest things that I always look for is, how can I help this production run smoothly?
Yeah.
Well, what can I do to lend a helping hand and to be an asset to this association? Last weekend at the Rough Rider Finals in Jamestown, so it's 3 full days of rodeo, and they actually lost some help on the last day. There was another club that had a play day thing, so they lost their help on the strip and shoot. So Callie Enander, our current Missouri, North Dakota, and myself, we went back behind the chutes and took halters and saddles and riggings off a bronc, got bulls pushed through. So it was definitely a new sight to see, to be back there, and I hope to do more things like that. And going forward, I really want to highlight some of those people in part of rodeo in North Dakota.
Elise, hold on. We're up against our break here. Stay with us. We're going to keep you through the break and be back right after this. Stay right here. Dakota Prairie Outdoors, more after these messages.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your locally owned hometown bank, an honor we take great pride in. And our customer satisfaction has always been our most important goal. We've gone along with the communities we serve and will continue to do so with our pledge of modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. From remote deposit options to online mortgage applications, we are happy to serve you wherever you are. Learn more at dakotacommunitybank.com. That's dakotacommunitybank.com.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition here, continuing on Open Lines Saturday. Music right there from Benny Paulson and Breaking A. He had a chance to actually golf. He was golfing with a great bunch of people. We got to go around all the way around there. Jesse, we never did get him to sing anything, though, did we?
No, we kind of broke tradition a little bit. You usually interview him and we get him to do a little singing, and we were just having too much fun. We forgot about some of that stuff.
We're having a great time here. Also joining me on the phone here, Elise Burwell. She is Miss Rodeo North Dakota 2022, so she is currently lady in waiting. Is that the proper way of saying that, Elise?
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
All right. I'm not, probably up on my terms as I should be, but before we left for the break here, you were explaining how are you going to get the message out to a lot of folks here, and what do you have going on?
So I've been kind of brainstorming for a little bit of what I can do to promote our Cowboys in the Badlands Circuit, which is North and South Dakota, and also our rodeo queens, kind of getting more behind the scenes of what rodeo queens do and getting in touch with how much we do know and how much we do help out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking to start a podcast and hopefully a vlogging bit too. It's going to be called Behind the Crown, and going to interview some important people that I come across in my travels and give them the recognition that they deserve.
That's awesome. And it's called Behind the Crown. Is it going to be on all podcast kind of apps out there?
Yes, I believe so. I started it on Anchor,
Okay.
but I do believe Anchor sends it out to everyone else.
Spotify.
Like 7 different platforms.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know Jesse had a question for you before we hit the break too.
Yeah, you had said the other night when we were visiting that one of your goals was to utilize media more with your year as reigning with the crown, whether it be podcast, radio, TV. Let everybody kind of know what your plans are with that theory to help get your message out and spread the word to more people than just who you see at the rodeos, which, we talked earlier about 9/11 happening and social media not being a thing, the internet. I know I didn't have a computer in my house back when that happened. The world's really changed, and you're hoping to bring that changed world into your reign as the state queen here. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great tool to have, and if you can utilize it right, why not do it?
Yep.
So a few years ago, I actually took a break from being a rodeo queen and going to pageants, and just started just to be a contestant again and just really focused on that. And a guy from North Dakota by the name of Cameron Mormon, he qualified for the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. And there was a lot of people in North Dakota that don't rodeo or aren't a part of the industry that had no idea. But they knew what the Wrangler National Finals were, but they didn't know that a local cowboy right in their home state had qualified. So that was the first thing that sparked my mind, and got to talking to some people. And, there's really should be something that highlights these amateur rodeos in North Dakota. There's a lot of people that have went on to do really great things in rodeo, really big things that to this day they're still competing at our amateur levels of NDRA, Rough Rider Rodeo Association, South Dakota Rodeo Association, all those smaller town rodeos that everyone loves to attend. So I want to give more recognition to those amateur rodeos, kind of give a highlight after the rodeo weekend is done. And on top of that, the PRCA has over 80 rules in their bylaws that pertains to the protection of our animals, our cowboys, our contestants, our personnel. So there's a lot of things that, for example, we talk about the barrier. We tell people that, this gives the animal a head start, gives them the advantage on the cowboy, but we don't really talk about how it works or why it works or what the difference is. We always say, it's a 2 under or a 4 under, different barrier settings. So that's where the video side of it I want to come into and really get into details on this is how it gets set up, this is how it works, this is where the score line is, how we measure the box, measure the barrier, just a bunch of different things. Like I said, there's over 80 rules that the PRCA has. So kind of gives some highlight to those really important ones that the people that don't rodeo can kind of relate more and understand. And one of my big things is about being proactive before reactive.
Yeah.
I'd rather connect with people before I have to defend myself. So yeah, that's where that kind of came from.
Yeah, and you as well as myself here in the hunting industry, defending ourselves is something that we do. Being proactive, I agree with you very much. Is there any places that if folks have questions, comments, concerns, they can go and find you, whether North or South Dakota, and get more information and maybe even support you a little bit?
Yes, our Facebook pages, our queens are very active on those, as well as their boards. So if you head to Miss Rodeo North Dakota or Miss Rodeo South Dakota on Facebook, you'll have all the information there. I believe all of our websites are attached. Anybody on the board, if you reach out to the current queen, send a message to the page. There's always people out there that are willing to help and accept any donations.
You bet. Elise, I appreciate the time we got to spend here on Thursday discussing it. And if there's anything you need or you think I could help with, feel free to give me a call.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You bet. Elise, thank you very much. Elise Burwell, she is the 2022 Miss Rodeo North Dakota Queen, and they call it Lady in Waiting here. So there you go, Jesse. I'm telling you right now that that's one thing. Maybe we could say you're the guy in waiting.
I'm always waiting. I have 3 women in my house.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. Not all ladies are always behind, but when you got a 7 and a 9-year-old and a wife that's trying to chase them around and get them ready, they do a lot of waiting.
Like they see guys, they know I'm on the radio, and they still call me on my cell phone, thinking that they can get
I
through.
know.
Can you believe that? I tell
Hey,
you.
we started this show off saying it was going to be open line. We kind of forgot for a second that we had a guest lined up, but
Yeah.
it was nice to hear from her.
Hold
She was
on.
a lot of fun visiting with.
We
Go
got
ahead.
we have people that have gripes and grievances that text
Well,
me.
that's what I was getting to. We
Okay.
opened this up as what twists your bolts, you know, and so we got to get back to that. But before we do that, I got to say one thing.
What's that?
I told you off the air I was going to be out in the garage a little bit. I'm cleaning up a car. We have Haze and Harvest Fest this weekend, and today at Krause's Super Value, which I know you're a jerky fan, so some of the best jerky you'll ever get is made at Krause's Super Value here in Hazen. But there's going to be a car show in their parking lot today, and I'm buffing up the old man's car as we're talking here. So if you hear me huffing a little bit, it's because I'm out of shape, and washing a car makes me tired.
Oh, good grief.
So with that said, let's get back to what grinds your gears calls and text messages.
Okay. So here first off, Ron Ness, a good friend at the North Dakota Petroleum Council here. He has a picture of his dog. This dog wants to just go hunting, plain and simple, you know. So he sent me a picture trying to get his dog to pose, but his dog has the nose over into grass going, no, it's bird season. Let's get after this.
Jacked and ready to go.
He is ready. My buddy Jay said, you know what grinds my gears? He says, a bow hunter walking down the middle of old Highway 16 at sunup and didn't get off to the side of the road and then glared at him as he almost runs him over because can't see him in the camouflage and it's still kind of barely getting light out. He says, and then I found the pickup for, parked further down the road that was not pulled off of the road. And that's one thing, you know, it's tough. You know, I get it. I've had very good luck so far this bow season, Jesse, with, you know, so the trails, Slope County has a burn ban. You can't travel on these trails. If there's grass in it, you can't travel. We're dry and people are understanding that. And I thank them for that. So a lot of people have been bringing out these electric bikes. Have you seen these?
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's pretty nifty. And they, you know, they say, can we cross this trail through your private land? And because they realize and understand there's no easements that the Forest Service has for crossing any private land. So they checked into that, which is very nice of them. And they said, we'll take our bikes back there. And then they also said, you know, after I said, yeah, that's fine, go ahead. They pulled up the map and they said, well, you live here. He says, where would you go? And that's
someone actually thought to ask the person that runs on the land.
The first person I've ever had that says, well, if you were bow hunting, where would you go, Scott? So I told him, I says, well, I know this area here, every year that somebody gets a deer, it's usually in this pocket. I said, because you were there one time with me. We had to haul this thing out of there because everybody wants to go shoot a deer in the Badlands, but nobody wants to carry a deer out of the Badlands. So they usually,
it's ugly.
It is bad, right? It's not the good one.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, well, here's the pocket. So I don't know if they did or not. I told him, I said, I'm not going to be around. I said, why don't you guys just go? I said, leave a business card or something on the bar in the shop. And I went in there. Guess what? Guess what this guy does for a living?
He raises pygmy goats.
No, that was a stretch. Holy moly.
I would take a stab at it.
What he does is he is in the ammunition buying and selling industry.
Oh, nice.
Guess what he left me?
Left you some 28 Nosler ammo.
No, he left me 223 ammunition, but a ton of it.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah. You know, it goes a long ways, doesn't it? It goes a long ways. Another question here. How does one get access to state school land when it's surrounded by privately owned land and there are no roads going into it? All right. So now there might be a lot of different feelings on this, but the easiest way, you know, I'm looking at all the school land around our area that we're looking at is some of it is, as people call, landlocked, right? Mm-hmm. And there's one section of school land in our south unit here that had some people going in there and leaving the gates open, and it's kind of created a little bit of mess with my cows and my bulls and everything. But the easiest way is find out which landowner has it or which land you got to go through and just ask. Now, there are some people are going to say no, right? I mean, that's just how it is, and you're going to have to work with that sometimes.
that's where I'll be the devil's advocate, because I know a lot of guys that have made this comment to me, not living out west anymore. I don't consider Hazen out west. Hazen's central part of the state. West is, a lot of people consider Bismarck west, the west. I'm more of a Dickinson west guy. But what I will say is the section line is an easement, whether there's a road or not. And that alludes to what you said, Scott. There's some people that just aren't willing to walk into the Badlands. They want to drive into the Badlands. Just because there's not a road doesn't mean there's no access. There's all kinds of apps on the internet. We've been talking about the world has changed in the last 20 years, 30 years. Get on the app, see where the actual section line is, and you can walk that section line. It might be a 3-mile hike, but that's your way in.
And you better stay on the section line.
Yep.
However,
GPS is pretty accurate. It'll keep you within 50 yards of that section line 99% of the time.
50 yards is still trespassing, Jesse. If you,
It is.
So
It is, but I will say,
And then,
depending on where you're at and what app they're using, they're accurate to a point.
easiest is just call the landowner. If they say no, they say no. But here's another thing too, though. There is some school sections, state land, school land, we call it up here, school land.
Yep.
That some of the landowners will actually put no hunting on it. And they can legally do that through the state. But that means even the landowner that's using it or
cannot hunt it.
They cannot hunt it too. I mean, it will be completely closed off to hunting. And
that's a process, like you said, to do that. They can shut that down, but there is a process.
There is. Here's the thing, though.
Yep.
If you don't realize how expensive this is a year, because I think it's like 3 or 5 years on the state land. When we go to there's a state land auction for us.
Oh, for the lease, yes.
For the lease. And people don't realize it's substantial. It's up there. So, but anyway, that's my advice here. What kind of 223? Full Metal Jackets or something good? I'll show you. It's something I've never used before, Jamie, but anyway. Another text comes in here from Mr. Darrell Lease from the North Dakota Farm Bureau. He said, I traveled to D.C. about 5 months after the 9/11 attacks, and it was in awe of over the top of the security as they put in place to enter any federal building, and we couldn't even tour the Capitol at that time. And again, that's what he does, right? He also remembers in the late 80s listening to the Iran-Contra hearings and Oliver North being questioned about the security system which was installed at his residence and who could possibly scare Big General so much that he needed that much security. His response was Osama bin Laden back then, and he said someday the world may know his name all too well. The senator questioning him chuckled at that general would be fearing somebody so much. Guess who that senator was? You're old enough to know this.
Good old tree hugger himself, Al Gore.
Yeah, Mr. Climate Change himself. And lo and behold, guess what? Yeah. So there you go.
And that's one of them things that happen. Our rodeo queen, Elise, said she was 5. She was in kindergarten when that happened.
Yeah.
I was about the age I was when the Iran-Contra deal happened, and so I remember hearing about it when I was little, but I've looked into it since then because I am kind of a history guy. I like to know that sort of stuff, and there's some of those things that happened when I was young and little that I recognize when I hear about it, but I don't think to bring it up. Earlier the assassination of Kennedy, he was a president.
And just like that, we lose Jesse. He got so excited that he just he cut himself off on the air here. So we'll see if we can get him back hooked up here a little bit, and we'll see you. Are you still there, buddy?
Yeah. Did I lose you?
Yeah, you cut out there and took off. You're all getting excited, ready to put the hammer down in your and now you lost it. So you want to finish?
Contra.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Okay. It was cool.
It wasn't cool, but It's another one of those things that people of a certain age don't remember, including myself. I don't remember it, but I've studied it a lot since then.
Message comes in, says, why does South Dakota close down archery season during the rifle season and during antelope season? Did you know that South Dakota does this? So the archery system, archery season, started on August 21st. It goes to the end of October 31st. And the rifle firearm season will start October 2nd, and it goes until October 17th. And during the rifle season, the firearm season in South Dakota, they do not allow archery hunting during that time. Are you still there, Jesse?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what happened.
What happened?
I can tell you what happened.
You hit the mute
My
button.
my wife fired up our little diesel car to head to town, and her car stole the conversation for a second until she drove out of the yard. So if you were yelling at me saying, "Hey, I can't hear you," she was probably laughing, trying to get out of the yard, so it disconnected. That's what happened. Cow darn it anyhow.
Anyway, back to South Dakota's antelope season here. And so I think it's more, like Kelly said, it's more, he just texts, he says, so you don't shoot your fellow Elmer Fudd out there. And but that's basically it. It's just a safety precaution is all it is there during the antelope season. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I do have my South Dakota antelope archery tag this year.
Oh, nice.
I'm excited about that. I think John Armin, actually, I think I saw him posting pictures of butchering one up here. So I think he got a South Dakota tag filled too.
Yeah, I saw a notification, but I wasn't able to click in and see what happened. So I figured they had either on one or got one or something.
Yeah. Well, nobody's going to just, send you a notification saying, well, I missed one.
You know, there's a few people that do. Usually it's not a public deal. It's a friend saying, you won't believe what just happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. That's a story you typically do not hear.
Spot and stock or blind or tree stand? What's your go-to?
This day and age at my size and the shape I'm in, no tree stands for this guy. I used to like it. The first tree stand I declined was when I went with you. And we walked out there, and I said, all right, well, where's the tree stand? He said, it's in that tree. I said, where? And you pointed about 40 feet higher than I was looking. I'm like, no. I'll be in the ground blind. You can climb that, son of a gun. That was the last tree stand I was in. And that's the true story right there.
Well, I guess you do have to look for weight limit capacities when you shop for things. I'm guessing.
You know, people make fun of me, but I buy an extension ladder. That sucker better be the right color and the right weight, or it ain't gonna make it.
I like spot and stock more than anything. And somebody was asking me how we're going to be doing antelope archery this year. You know, I think it was John Armin and I had this discussion. I said, for us out here in the drought areas, it's going to be a lot easier this year because there is only one water source within like 8 miles. So I'm guessing they're going to be coming into there. So that's what I'm going to be utilizing for the most part. Granted, we do have a lot of springs out here too, but still.
But I think that's going to change hunting. All big game this year is going to be, I'm not going to say easier because it's still going to be a son of a gun, but it's going to change some strategies. It's going to change some areas where you possibly saw game before. You might not see game in that area this year. It's going to change things up a bunch.
Well, I tell you what, we're coming up to the end of the show here. We're going to continue on YouTube here just a little bit longer, and we'll continue on that here as well. Thanks for tuning in this morning all across the Dakota Territory stations. Thank you again for keep sponsoring and helping me get the word out here as we have a little bit of fun each and every day. Thanks to Lise, our North Dakota Rodeo Queen for 2022, and we'll get the South Dakota one. We'll find who that is. We'll get her on too here coming up. Thanks a lot. Join more on K-Fire 550 and the rest of the stations next. There we go. I hit that late. Now the after hours on YouTube.
Yeah.
Darren Munn, thanks again for the 30-30 rifle. We'll have drinks, and we will have drinks for that bill of sale. Yeah, well, you need to do your paper. He didn't even do his paperwork yet.
He did not do his paperwork. He didn't have the opportunity.
Good grief.
You better tell people what the paperwork is, because we probably got some smellies out there listening that might get all bent out of shape.
Tell you what, they can run. Paperwork is a bill of sale. It was a private collecting. It was going to somebody else there. So yeah. All right. What else have we got going on here? So South Dakota tag, check. Facebook. That's it. Elise, thanks for having me. Thank you, Elise. Appreciate that. And what else we got going on?
She's fun. She was fun for a pretty young person.
25.
She has got out and seen the world a little bit at her age already. She's well spoken. She's got her ideas. She's got her agenda, and I think it's a good one, and she's running with it. I was glad to get to visit with her a little more in depth.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going through the mountain line, see if anybody got a mountain lion yet, but it does not look like it.
Okay.
Not that I can see anywhere on the list. Fall turkey results. Fall turkey tags remain available September 17th.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm thinking to myself. Youth season opens up September 17th for a deer rifle already. Holy moly. Yeah, youth military.
Yeah, it's coming in a hurry here.
It's going to go down fast.
I committed to doing some reloading for a few different guys, and I realized last weekend I have not done any of that. So I got the 3 guns that I'm reloading for guys squared away. I just got to punch out the rounds now. Got the loads developed. I have not really shot. I usually do a lot of shooting. I know you're not a
shooter.
A paper guy.
No.
You're not a target guy. The thing is you have something that a lot of people don't, or you have almost immediate access to things that a lot.
Yeah.
That's Prairie Dog Town, live targets, and that's your thing.
Yep.
I usually shoot an average of, it's not a lot, but I usually shoot an average of 20 to 30 shots a week, because I'm not a guy that'll sit there and hammer on a target for hours and hours. What do you do when you hunt? You go out, you walk, you get tired, you see your game, you pull up, and you hopefully take 1 shot. So I used to be a guy that would go out in my front yard on my private range, and I'd take 3 shots a night. And all 3 of them shots better be a hit. I treated it like hunting. I haven't pulled the trigger on my rifle since deer season last year with this whole ammo thing and even reloading components. Can't find primers, can't find powder. I'm worried about that with people that don't practice shooting because they don't have any ammo.
Whether or not they're going to take an ethical shot. Here, I have a challenge for you. First, Jamie says spot and stock over blind or stand hunting. Anyway, I got a challenge.
All right.
Go to your shooting table with your rifle.
Yeah.
Take 1 shot at the closest target.
Okay.
Set your rifle down. No, just listen, hear me out. Clear your rifle, make sure it's safe.
Yeah.
Jog down to that target and back. That's what, your 200 target? Or what's your closest one?
Well, I got a 100-yard backstop, but my closest plate is a 200-yard plate.
Okay, start at 100. Go down, jog back, and then quick reload and shoot at the next furthest target while you have some of that huffing and puffing going on.
Yeah, the old scope bounce, the heartbeat, the breathing that you can hear from Slope County.
Yeah, that's when you're going to start being able to control your breathing and everything so much better. There's a guy that in Sioux Falls, South Dakota has a TV show. I don't know if he still has it or not, but he did his twist on the hunting program that he did was how you can exercise and hunt and how well they go together.
Oh, so you bet.
He did training like like a lot of people are showing they like the story. Okay. They want to show getting up in the morning, having coffee and camaraderie, and then doing this, putting the food plots in and back, flashing back and all this kind of stuff. His story is, all right, let's get up, let's go to work. And you could actually do some of this while watching the television show. It's kind of cool. And then that was his for bow hunting. He would he'd shoot his bow, sprint down, sprint back, get back, control his breathing, shoot, sprint down and back. And he'd do that with 6, 7, whatever he had for his quiver of arrows. And that's how he started and working on. I thought that was pretty cool. I did interview him one time, but then something happened. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I think that's
I've had guys that have come out, come out and shot on my range, and I had a friend that did a variation of that. He did 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 jumping jacks, sat down, shot 1 shot.
Yeah.
Did it again, shot, did it again. He got in a couple 100 push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks that night. And I looked at him like he was smoking something he shouldn't have been. And about the 3rd shot he took, I realized I watched him as he was breathing hard, as he was exactly what happens when you're hunting.
Yep.
You either have a miss or a bad shot, and that animal goes over the hill, and you need to get up there, get eyes on it, get your kill shot. Or you see something that happened to you and I. You see the biggest deer you've ever seen in your life, and he's at 1,400 yards, and he's not running. He doesn't even know you're there. He's just walking, but he's moving away. What are you going to do? You're going to act like you're 20 years ago doing triathlons, even though it's 20 years later and you're way overweight and out of shape, and you're going to take off and try to catch up to that monster buck, the biggest one you've ever seen. And if you're not ready for that, that walk back's going to be really, really, really bad.
This is why you always coyote hunt and spot and stalk coyotes.
That's right.
That's
right.
That's why I like spot and stalk more than anything.
Yep.
Oh shit. Well, I suppose we'll get off of YouTube. I hear I don't need to have that here. and that.